Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today. You will be aware of the controversy surrounding the Corporation of Hamilton Corporation during the tenure of the current administration, Team Hamilton, dating back to 2013, when the Ombudsman reported grave concerns of maladministration relating to the waterfront development. You also recall the Ministry assumed temporary stewardship over the Treasury functions of the Corporation from 19th December 2013 to 13th of March of 2014. During that time, my ministry prepared a code of ethics and conduct, as well as a municipal council meeting guide, and the Ministry of Finance prepared a robust set of financial instructions in accordance with amendments to the Act in an effort to assist the corporation in better managing its financial and day-to-day operations. There was also a commitment by the ministry to have ongoing meetings with the corporation. I am pleased to report that the Mayor and I have met regularly to try and move the city in the right direction. Notwithstanding these efforts, there has been no improvement in the overall management and administration of the corporation's affairs, and this has caused me to continue to have grave concern over the corporation's ongoing ability to function properly for any number of reasons, in particular the following. A few members of the council remain steadfast in their attempts to bring legal action against the government in a number of areas, despite there being a lack of unanimity, and the mayor's consequent instructions not to proceed. The unauthorized actions of these few members of the council make absolutely no sense, and they have resulted in a misuse of the taxpayers' funds, the very same funds the government and the council are expected to manage efficiently. The mayor's curtailment of the day-to-day business of the corporation as a result of the council failing to abide by the municipal council meeting guide. My concern relating to the subsequent open and very public call by certain council members for the mayor to resign. The continuing cloud of uncertainty relating to the Black Mayors Conference, concerns relating to the Porterville development and the current financing arrangements, the complete gridlock that now exists in relation to the management of the city by the council, which in turn has affected the ability of the corporation to properly run its services, the uncertainty among the staff regarding the direction and ongoing operation of the corporation given the behavior of the council, and the governance of the corporation seemingly in complete disarray, with relations between the council itself as well as a number of members of the council and the mayor deteriorating to the point of them making open threats and allegations of racism and maladministration, as well as engaging in acts of intimidation. Since the Code of Ethics and Conduct, the Municipal Council Meeting Guide, and financial instructions were put in place last year, it was hoped that the council would get their affairs in order using these documents as their guide, and that the mayor would be able to properly exercise his authority over the council. Unfortunately, this has not been the case, as recent events have demonstrated. Last Thursday, I stood before you after meeting with the council in an effort to bring a measure of calm, which was sparked by the media release calling for the mayor's resignation. In truth, I left Thursday's meeting with the council rather annoyed. Whilst there appeared to be common ground reached in respect of concerns relating to a number of issues, and whilst the conversations were frank, it was quite evident the council was not operating in unison, and the general conduct of the council was certainly not in accordance with the established good governance principles. More importantly, it was clear to me that the current council is incapable of conducting its affairs properly, with the result that the ongoing administration of and provision of services by the corporation is in serious jeopardy and will continue to deteriorate in the absence of intervention by me. On Friday, Cabinet determined that, in accordance with Section 7B6 of the Municipalities Act 1923, which reads where, due to the poor state of any of a corporation's infrastructure or services, as a result of force majeure, maladministration, disrepair, or lack of funding, the Minister believes that it is in the public interest for the government to temporarily assume stewardship of a corporation's infrastructure, function, or service in order to repair or maintain it. Those particular items may, with the approval of Cabinet, be temporarily removed from the stewardship of the corporation. Effective immediately, I, with Cabinet's authority, should assume temporary stewardship over the governance of the Corporation of Hamilton. So what does this mean in practice? The Chief Operating Officer will continue to run the day-to-day operations of the corporation. Any major financial or operational decisions shall have the oversight of the ministry. Anything outside of the corporation's policies will require consultation with the ministry. The current council will have no authority to make decisions, pass any resolutions, or interfere with the day-to-day operations of the corporation, although I will continue to consult with the mayor and the council during this period of temporary stewardship. It is my hope that the decision to assume temporary stewardship of the corporation will be respected by the Council, and that the COO and his team will be left free to manage the day-to-day operations of the corporation without interference. The Mayor is supportive of this decision, as he is quite cognizant of the larger picture which sees Bermuda now placed on the international map with the prestigious America's Cup heading to our shores, along with many other projects of national importance in train and effort by this government to get our economy on track. Before I conclude, I would like to confirm that Cabinet's decision that I assume temporary stewardship of the Corporation of Hamilton will have no impact on the Corporation of St. George's. So I'm quite happy with what the Mayor and his team are doing in the town of St. George's. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Any questions, Lydia?
Upon reflection, do you think you should have held on to your stewardship role a lot longer than you did?
No, we were confident at that time that by putting in place the financial instructions, the meeting guide, and the code of ethics and conduct, that people should have the opportunity to abide by those. It's clear that there have been a number of instances where that has not happened.
What will happen to the scheduled election later this year?
So far, it looks like we're on track.
So that will be proceeding with the current mayor and team?
Well, the elections have to be held in May. There is some legislation that has been tabled in the House of Assembly to ensure that that goes forward.
Yes, sir. Why not permanently take over the corporation and absorb it into government?
Well, that's not really for this moment, I don't think. I think what I'm putting in place is there's a provision that exists currently for stewardship under certain circumstances, which I've articulated. In respect of major policy decisions like that, that's for the Cabinet as a whole.
What do you make of you referenced it in your speech, what do you make of the board members' call for the mayor to resign?
Well, they obviously have their concerns. They were raised with me on Thursday, and what I'm hoping is that through the temporary stewardship, we can look at all of the concerns that have been raised from every member and find out exactly what has or has not been happening in the corporation, based on the opinions that were articulated to me both on Thursday and in today's brief meeting.
Can you plan to handle that $18 million lawsuit to do with all of the projects?
Well, at this stage, I'm not going to comment on that. What I need to do is sit down again with those members and get some more information on that. But there is obviously it's a cause for concern.
Lastly, remind us when is the next election, municipal election?
Mid-May of this year.
What will be the future of the Mayor's conference as we stand here today?
Again, I've made reference to it. There seems to be some doubt, again, expressed as to whether that is actually going to go forward. Well, at this stage, I need to get more information. There's a lot of information from some that says it is, some say it is not. I just simply don't have the kind of information that we need to see what we can do.
But there's money involved, certainly.
There is indeed.
Because you're feeling at the moment about whether you want to spend that kind of money.
Well, I won't answer that specifically. What I will say is I think that we have enough cause for concern, which is why, based on that and any number of issues that I've raised in my statement, to implement the stewardship provisions of the Municipalities Act 1923.
Minister, can I just get an idea of the
Yes.
timeline? Was the Mayor and the Cabinet told, was the Mayor and the Council told today?
The Mayor and the Council were advised today at our meeting at 12:30.
You said the Mayor was supportive of this decision.
Indeed.
What was the response of the rest of the Council?
Some were obviously not saying very much, and some articulated their position forcefully, but I'll leave that if members desire to comment, that's for them. I'm not going to presuppose what their view was at that time.
You mentioned this is a temporary. Is it possible that you carry on until the elections in May?
At this stage, I don't have a timeline. I've got to be upfront about it. I've listed for everyone the concerns that we have. Some have been articulated by members of the Council themselves. We need to get more information. Obviously, if we become satisfied it is temporary, then it could be lifted. If not, then it will continue.
The first time round, so you sat in control, changed the laws, got in the code of ethics, everything else, and then gave it back to them and says, now run things. You don't seem to have the same opportunity now. There's no open end to this.
I'm sorry, Brian, I'm not sure I understand the question.
So you had a chance to say, we're taking over because you've been maladministration. Here is what we want you to do to correct that. You did that, and it didn't work.
Correct.
What are your options now?
Well, our options now is to assume that that temporary stewardship, what in practice, as I've said, that means, is that the council is unable now to pass resolutions or ordinances. And we will have to look very carefully as to how things are functioning.
Have you been able to uncover any unethical practices?
At this stage, I'm not prepared to comment on that. Where I am is based on our meetings over time, and certainly from our meeting on Thursday, which there were issues that were raised that are cause for concern. I'm not going to comment whether people have behaved unethically. I don't have that information to hand at the moment.